Hey everybody, welcome to the ExoCast. Today we will be going through a few of the breaking news articles that have been displayed here. We have kind of a summary over some of the things that have been going on. In May 2026, the U.S.-Iran conflict has caused surging energy costs, threatening to exhaust consumer tax rebates and trigger a pullback in discretionary spending. Simultaneously, investor fears of inflation linked to this conflict have accelerated a sell-off in U.S. debts, driving up borrowing costs. Separately, amidst high-level tensions, President Trump and President Xi disagreed over Japan's increased defense spending, while negotiations continued for a 60-day ceasefire extension to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We have articles from the Financial Times, which stated that the Iran war could add billions of dollars in interest payments to U.S. debt. Xi Jinping railed against Japan's remilitarization at Donald Trump's summit. And U.S. consumers face looming spending squeeze as Trump tax rebates fade. All right, and the Washington Post today had said that the U.S. and Iran are working toward a deal to extend the ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices fell and global stocks rose over optimism for an agreement, but President Trump emphasized that a deal isn't even fully negotiated yet. We have from CNN World that the U.S. and Iran downplay the hopes of imminent deal in war. The Iran's Foreign Ministry said that a degree of understanding reached with U.S., as Rubio says talks are still a work in progress. So U.S. President Donald Trump said the yet to be unveiled peace agreement with Iran will either be a great and meaningful one or there will be no deal. His remarks came after Iran said a degree of understanding has been reached with U.S. on many issues, but that an agreement is not imminent. Both sides are talking of a memorandum of understanding that will set out a roadmap for resolving remaining issues, though a deal is still a work in progress. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said. Iran's chief negotiator and foreign minister arrived in Qatar today for talks, a source had told CNN. If a deal is reached to end the war and reopen the strait, alleviating the global energy crisis and lowering prices will be a lengthy and complex process. So we still have a long road to go there. Putin had said that Russia is an integral part of the global economic system. This is by Baja Breaking News. Russia remains an integral part of the global economic system, Russian President Vladimir Putin said in a written message to the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum on Monday. He insisted that Moscow is still open to constructive engagement with partners open to forming honest long-term relationships. Putin told the forum that the world's diplomatic and economic relations are facing unprecedented challenges, including fragmentation and supply chain disruption. He said that pragmatism and international dialogue is particularly relevant and in demand when facing existing global issues. Okay. We now have another article. This is by AP News. This is written by Emma Burrows. British sailors are preparing to deploy on a mine-clearing mission to Hormuz, which may never come. Aboard the RFA Lime Bay, docked off the coast of Gibraltar, hundreds of British sailors are waiting to be deployed for a mine-clearing mission to the Strait of Hormuz that is still in doubt. U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at allies for not doing more to support the United States war effort in Iran, whose chokehold on the strait has crippled international shipping and sent energy prices soaring. In March, Trump told NATO allies to get your own oil and secure the strait themselves. On the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula and the British overseas territory of Gibraltar, the UK's Royal Navy is preparing to do that, but only once a peace agreement is reached. Trump said Saturday that a deal with Iran has been largely negotiated after calls with Israel and other allies in the region, but it still needs finalizing. Britain's Armed Forces Minister Al Carnes took a small group of reporters to visit the RFA Lime Bay as it prepares for a possible international operation led by the UK and France to secure the strait. As Carnes spoke, the amphibious landing vessel docked at the gateway to the Mediterranean was being loaded with ammunition and mine-hunting sea drones equipped with sonar. So we do have anti-mine operations that are coming from both Britain and France to this area, which is around the RFA Lime Bay. All right. Our next article is about or is from the Wall Street Journal. This is by Juan Ferrero, and it writes, could a Marxist take over conservative Colombia? The polls say yes. Ivan Cepeda has country's conservative establishment bracing for a radical left turn. Bogota, Colombia. More than 30 years ago, a communist lawyer won a Senate seat while quietly advancing a strategy of combining guerrilla warfare with electoral politics to seize power. Manuel Cepeda's plans ended when Colombian government agents assassinated him on the streets of this capital city. The senator's son, Ivan Cepeda, channeled his mourning into a political mission that could realize his father's communist dreams. He won elections as a congressman and then senator before becoming the top advisor to Colombia's first leftist president, Gustavo Petro. All right, and so if you want more of that article, you can go to the Wall Street Journal to look at that. Okay, and now we're going to go into some of the scientific news. So from the Associated Press, China has launched the Shenzhou 23 spacecraft with one of 3 astronauts set for a year-long stay. China launched the Shenzhou 23 spacecraft Sunday night with 3 astronauts heading to its space station, including one set to stay in space for an entire year. The spacecraft blasted off from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwestern China. The much-anticipated launch comes as China prepares for its first crewed lunar landing by 2030. The astronauts on the mission are Zhu Yongzhu, the commander, Zhang Jihuan, and Lai Ka-ying, also identified by Chinese authorities as Li Jiaying, using the Mandarin transliteration of her name. Lai, who was born and raised in Hong Kong and has a doctoral degree in computer forensics, is the first astronaut from the city on a space mission. The crew is set to conduct dozens of science and application projects. State media said they are also expected to complete an in-orbit rotation with the crew of Shenzhou 21, who has been at the Tiangong space station for more than 200 days. One of the 3 astronauts on the Shenzhou 23 mission is scheduled to stay at the orbiting space station for a year, and which would be among the world's longest single stays in space. The astronauts' mission is to explore human adaptability and performance limits in long-duration space flight environments, state media reported. As China steps up its space program, its astronauts have carried out multiple missions to the Tiangong space station, developed after China was effectively excluded from the International Space Station on U.S. concerns over national security. The U.S. is seen as China's top space rival, with NASA aiming to land astronauts on the lunar surface in 2028. China's space station Tiangong, which translates to Heavenly Palace, first hosted the country's crew in 2021. Last year, an emergency mission in the Shenzhou program, which means divine vessel, returned a team of astronauts stranded on the space station due to damaged spacecraft. So that is one of our newer mentionings here of the Chinese space station rocket, and that is the Shenzhou 23 spacecraft. That was written by NPR, but also by the Associated Press originally. Reuters has announced some new science stories as well. We have that the XD-Link Space Labs announced in orbit qualification of indigenous microsatellite platforms. Hyderabad-based XD-Link Space Labs successfully qualified its microsatellite platform, XDSat M600, in orbit following its deployment as part of the Galaxy Eyes mission Drishti on May 3rd. China sends astronauts on year-long space mission as it eyes 2030 moon landing. We already kind of talked about that a little bit. 2 tennis Ukraine's Kostyuk keeps focus in Paris after a missile strike near parents' home. The 23-year-old who advanced to the second round at Roland Garros said she was overwhelmed with anxiety after receiving pictures of the damage close to the house where her mother, sister, and aunt were staying. I felt sick just for the thought that if I was 100 meters closer, I probably wouldn't have a mom and a sister today, Kostyuk told reporters after beating Oksana Selekmateva 6-2, 6-3. and that is in response to the Russian missile strikes that happened in Kyiv. NVIDIA's Huang to meet Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing firm's co-chairman in Wei in Taiwan. NVIDIA Core CEO Jensen Huang arrived in Taiwan on Saturday ahead of upcoming AI and technology events, saying he plans to meet with clients and Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing co-chairman C.C. Wei during his visit, according to a report by Focus Taiwan. And here's one of the most interesting ones I saw today. The AI-powered smart city brain could transform future urban sustainability models. An international study proposes a new smart city brain framework that uses artificial intelligence, integrated data systems, and real-time monitoring to help cities become more sustainable, carbon neutral, resilient, and socially inclusive. The researchers argue that future cities must move beyond efficiency-focused smart technologies and prioritize climate action, public health, and social equity in urban governance. This is written by Rahul from Dev Discourse. As climate change, pollution, traffic congestion, and rapid urban growth put increasing pressure on cities, researchers are calling for a major rethink of how urban areas are managed. A new international study led by scientists from Zhejiang Gongsheng University, Zhejiang University, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, University of Copenhagen, and Université Paris et Créteil argue that current smart city systems are no longer enough to deal with modern urban challenges. The researchers propose a new model called the Smart City Brain, or SCB, which combines artificial intelligence, big data, digital tech, and real-time monitoring into a single integrated system. Published in the Journal of Urban Management, the study says future cities must focus not only on efficiency, but also on carbon neutrality, public health, resilience, and social equality. Over the past decade, cities around the world have invested heavily in smart technology such as traffic sensors, surveillance systems, digital infrastructure, and automated energy management. These systems have improved urban services and reduced some operational problems. However, the researchers say most smart city systems still work in isolation. Transportation departments, energy networks, healthcare systems, and environmental agencies often collect and manage data separately. This creates data silos that prevent cities from understanding how different systems affect one another. For example, electric vehicles may reduce road emissions, but if power grids are not prepared, electricity demand could rise sharply and increase dependence on fossil fuels. Similarly, traffic systems designed only to reduce travel time may encourage more car use and increase pollution instead of lowering it. The study argues that cities can no longer focus only on speed and efficiency. Instead, urban management systems must consider environmental and social impacts at the same time. The proposed Smart City Brain framework aims to connect all major city systems into one intelligent network. Under this model, data from transportation, energy, healthcare, emergency services, weather monitoring, and environmental systems would be integrated into a shared platform. AI would continuously analyze this information in real time and help city authorities make coordinated decisions. The system could predict traffic congestion, energy demand, pollution levels, or even disease outbreaks before they become severe. The researchers described the framework as operating through a cycle of data-driven analysis, technology empowerment, collaborative governance, carbon neutrality, and continuous optimization. In simple terms, the SCB would allow cities to move from reactive management toward predictive and adaptive governance. The paper highlights Hangzhou's City Brain project in China as one of the best early examples of this approach. The platform combines traffic cameras, public transportation data, and emergency response systems into a centralized AI-powered network that has reportedly reduced congestion and improved emergency response times. So what's really interesting about this is it seems very Orwellian, it seems very just like a Minority Report or something like that, where people would know about events before they even happen, and they just go out and kind of do time travel and take care of it, right? And also, what do y'all think about the efficiency of this model? Do you think that we should have an all-inclusive smart city brain, or do you think that compartmentalization is actually much better in terms of security systems and all of that? Let me know y'all's thoughts about these news articles. I'm very sorry I couldn't go more in depth. I've been hitting a lot of paywalls recently. And also, I wanted to add that the attack on Kyiv had actually increased a little bit since yesterday. And so keep Ukraine in your prayers, and that entire region really in your prayers, as well as this deal by Donald Trump. Keep them both in your prayers. Let's get this over with. I think Americans are ready for a move forward in their lives from both of these conflicts. They just want everything to end and just get on with their life. So let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching once again, and see me tomorrow for the next ExoCast. Bye for now.